Hopefully, I will get better connection to my Wi-Fi, which is right behind me. So it's Tuesday. We survived the weekend. We survived Monday. And now I'm trying to survive today. So let's see if anybody shows up. In the meantime, I know it's rude as AF, but I'm downloading a video. Hello to whoever joined me. Hey, that way, how you doing? Are you getting some of the sunshine that we are? I'm not used to it. Cross your fingers. I can go take you guys to the hillside Friday. It's supposed to be like 58 degrees. So, yeah, I didn't give much of a notice for this live, but I thought, well, people tend to know I go on Tuesdays, hopefully Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Oh, no. You can keep it on that side of the mountains. Yeah. I mean, I've got nice, bright blue sky for now. It snowed last week, and they said rain today, but I haven't seen any yet, so I think I'm doing pretty good. But yeah, it's starting to get warmer, and I'm so tired of being inside the house. If you want to go out, you have to go in the mud. Hey, Chuck, how you doing? Yeah, you're right. Long time no see. Oh no, I don't want it. It can come over when it's dark outside when I have the curtains closed. And I don't even have to look at it. So, Marmite. So, yep, I jumped on here and got to earn my watch hours so I can monetize for probably a month so then I can not worry about it. And I can just tell my granddaughter, Nana was monetized on YouTube. As opposed to some of these kids nowadays, even if they have children, grandma spent her time on OnlyFans. Yeah, no. The trail, I'm hoping they'll be nice and dry. I tried to go out for a walk about probably 3 weeks ago, and I could see ahead of me on the trail, and it was reflecting the sun, so that told me it was soaking wet. I think it's supposed to be 60s here. Doing okay. Cross your fingers that the YWCA gets back to me to haul out that bed. I'm giving them that Serta zero gravity electric bed. So I'm ready to have it gone. So they have to come pick it up because just the frame itself on that bed is 180 pounds. So it's not like I can just throw it into the trunk of my car and go deliver it. So, but I want it gone. And the playpen and all the stuff that goes with the playpen is going to go to some consignment shop Friday. So I can recoup what I just bought little girl to sleep on when she's here. Give her the high chair. And then in another by the time she weighs 50 pounds, then I get rid of the stroller with big rubber wheels, bicycle tire wheels. That goes to consignment and it gets gone because I'm tired of it's just time. The daycare kids are 8 and 12 and baby girls now. Ooh, back in the 40s. Ooh, and you guys got the wind too. We had some wind here a while back that blew a rainbow colored like yard ball into the yard, and then it blew it. It went down the street, and then it ended up across the street in somebody else's yard in the wind. Part of Titan this weekend lost power because of the wind. We didn't, it just flickered, but which was, but I told people in the local town chat, charge stuff you want charged now while you got power, just in case. My jump starter's at my feet that I've kicked 3 times, but it's charged. Oh boy, yeah. Never been to Chicago. I think the farthest back east I've ever been is Oklahoma. When I was like 4. Got to see a Piggly Wiggly's though when we were there. But I've been all over the West Coast. The West Coast, Hawaii, Alaska, the Yukon. I want to go back to the Yukon. That's so pretty up there. But no. Oh, blasted. Do I still have? No, I turned Wi-Fi off on my phone. So that's good. And I can't find my download. Yeah, well. I did a video on TikTok because I'm familiar with editing and stuff with TikTok about not talking down to yourself. Don't talk down about yourself. That's not what we need to do to ourselves. Because once you do it, yep, I do. Because out here, if the wind blows too hard, we lose power. It's been that way since I moved here, 27 years ago or so? Yeah. But yeah, I did a video on not talking down to yourself. I taught that to the 8-year-old. You do not talk down about yourself. Because you start doing it, and your friends will start doing it to you. So you just got to make sure that, you keep yourself positive, or you will have, especially with all these bullies nowadays. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't any different than the bullies we had. We took care of them differently. We always made sure we didn't hit first, but we were going to hit last. And I tell her that, don't hit first, but if they hit you, go ahead. Because sometimes that's the only way they're going to learn. Don't hit people. My youngest liked to bite. And so I bit him back. He was a little shocked, but he quit biting. He just bit his finger. He put his finger in my face, so I bit it. I said, see how that feels? Don't bite people. It hurts. He stopped biting. Actually, I had to do that to the dog, too. The dog would bite, I'd bite his ears. He quit. Oh, I've got my phone ringer on, so you might hear little things come up because I'm waiting for the YWCA to call me. We're getting that bed. And when this is over, I may touch base with them again. And mother's clothes. There's a huge, those black and white or black and yellow totes from Costco, full of her clothes. They're nice dress clothes. So they get that because she was a teacher. Only problem is, how many people nowadays are running around in a small petite? Not me, or I'd have a bunch of dress clothes that I'd never wear anyway. So good Lord. I got out of jury selection. Well, kind of. I had a daycare kids, so I had to go in one day and they didn't need me. So for me, jury duty is like a 20-mile one-way trip. So they don't like to do it to us out here in Titan very often because we're on the edge of civilization. You got about, I go down off the plateau and about a 20-minute drive, I'm out of cell service. So I can disappear nicely. So I think jury duty might be fun once just to see how it works. Just to find out how the system works, if it even works nowadays. Too much of laws for thee, but not for me, as we're seeing. Yeah, it is very, very corrupt. And they try to pick towards the demographic of who's on trial. So depending on which side. I remember the old days, you could just say you were racist and they wouldn't put you in there. I don't think that works anymore. I don't know. I'm too many demographics anyway, so I live in a town of 70% Hispanics. Most of my neighbors barely speak English. Has its advantages. You don't have them coming over constantly wanting to borrow something. And if the neighbor's home in the summertime and they're barbecuing, if we're outside, he'll bring us dinner. Oh, man. Because I'm too lazy to cook. Yep. We're seeing a lot of that right now. But I could cook the Hispanic foods if I slowed down and took the time. But it's fattening. But so good. I made blue tamales one day. I think that was the last time I made them. I had them, you know, those big blue pots that you do for canning and whatnot. I dyed a shirt in it. I dyed it kind of purple. I thought all the color was out. I thought it was all gone. And so when I put the tamales in to steam them, the husks and part of the masa at the bottom turned blue. Yep. The kids are like, Mom, these are blue. Shut up and eat them. They taste the same. So yeah, I haven't made them since. It takes a fair amount of time, especially when you do it by yourself. I would get the red sauce done ahead of time, the meat cooked ahead of time, the masa all mixed. Break out the stand mixer for the masa. Spin that through till you get it and the lard together enough that it put it in a glass of cold water and it floats. Then you know you've got it just right. But oh yeah, exactly the name they own and what was it? Who? I don't think it was Jordan Maxwell. Somebody like him made a comment that the bar association we got is still tied to England. Yeah, it was someone like Jordan Maxwell. Oh, nice. When it came out last week, I was like, what is this orb in the sky? I am so unfamiliar with it. I don't recognize it anymore. Oh, we did that in, God, back in the 70s in the Bluebirds. Campfire Girl Bluebirds. We all did our own tie-dye t-shirt. And mine was pink and it looked like bullseye because all the little rubber bands and one just made a tube of rubber bands. Yeah. Now they got all this fancy stuff and got an airbrush somewhere I could do, but I can't draw to save my life. Most of my thumbnails are AI art I do myself because I can't draw. So AI art's a blast because I can actually look like I've done something. I mean, I'm really good at stick figures and hangman. But after that, forget it. Unless I got a pattern to work on, and then I can have a pattern on where I'm supposed to paint and the colors I'm supposed to paint. I can do stuff. But I used to have a crafting business for a little while. I sold at the local crafters mall. I did that a lot. Hi, Nick. How are you, hon? So yeah, I kept very little of what I made. I sold most of it. I kicked myself for not saving stuff. Where's one? Oh, I'm too lazy to get up and get out of that cabinet. It's terrible to say. Started out with a bad morning. Good. That's wonderful. I started out with a bad morning. My pulse, my regular heartbeat was, my Fitbit was seeing it at, was it about 54 for several hours. I even tried to exercise to get it back into rhythm, and that was too painful. I was like, I quit. Hugs back to you, Nick. I had a t-shirt, and my son, it was a Def Leppard concert tee. My son wanted it when I went to go get rid of it, and I said nope, because the back of the t-shirt said, I suppose a rock is out of the question. I'm like, nope, you're not wearing that to school. It's going to get well. Mm-mm. But he did get a t-shirt with Betty Page. Had a t-shirt with Betty Page on it. And he wore it to school, and I said, did anybody notice it? And he goes, Mr. Tate did. He goes, Mr. Tate just kind of looked at it and laughed. And Tate's older than I am, so I'm like, yeah, he knew who that was. But some of the younger generation didn't know who Betty Page back then was. So, but I got an Aussie t-shirt at Hot Topic. Jeez, that had been like maybe 99, maybe 2000. One of the ladies I worked with, she's talking about his t-shirt. I can't believe someone got him that t-shirt. And I looked at Lola and I went, I got him that t-shirt. She's like, oh, okay. Because, Ozzy, he had the upside down cross and stuff. So, yeah, I let the kids do what they wanted. It's just, within reason. Oddly enough, they didn't have toy guns to play with, anything like that. Because I figured they're not going to, they don't learn that these aren't toys. So they got real things like boxing gloves, blow dart guns, airsoft guns. Enough BBs in a tree will kill it. Found that out. Yeah, they realize that these things have consequences and they hurt. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm teaching the kids, the daycare kids. Every now and then I've got a CO2 powered like little pellet gun that looks like a 357. I'll leave it laying around just to see their reaction. Just so they know it's not to be messed with. I've got it's old. 22 rifle, single shot, bolt action. And I've told the kids, I said, I'll lean it up against the table. I said, does it kill anybody? Is it got legs? Is it going to walk off? I said, yeah, mine youngest was bass guitar, guitar, drums. He even had a violin for a while, but wasn't pretty good at that one at all. But I said, is it hurting anybody? Is it doing any harm? They're like, no. I said, yeah, it's not guns who kill people. It's people who run them that cause the problems. So just like your car. Does your car, well, your car can run you over, but on accident. But on average, someone's behind the wheel when someone has an accident. So, like my sister. 2 people down in the world, thanks to her. That's why you don't drink and drive. Yeah. I hadn't talked to her in so many years. I just Googled her name to see if she was still alive. And there was pictures of her in court. In a wheelchair, because she hit 2 people down in Vancouver, Washington. Down by Portland, which, confused me when I was younger. I was like, what do you mean? Vancouver. They point up like talking about Canada. I'm like, going, no, Vancouver's down by Portland, because I lived in Washington and Idaho. I mean, and Washington and Oregon. I also lived in Idaho, but I was really confused when I was a kid. I'm like, no, we go through Vancouver to go to the beach. And they're like, no, though, there's a Vancouver, Canada. Just like when I was growing up, there's a Newport, Maine, and Newport, Oregon. So it took me, as a kid, I mean, towns can have the same names and it's still a town. So, boy, do they ever. And they're like, we'll pass these laws. Well, it's not the ones who follow the laws that cause the problems. It's like I told the kids, I said, if you got a rifle and a shotgun, those aren't guns. Those are eating utensils. That's how you get your food. And a pinch, if it flies or if it walks, you can have food. But yeah. Oh, enjoy the rest of your day too, and hopefully the sun stays out for you guys for a while, and the sun and the cloud and your clouds stay away from me for a while. So, yeah, they ruin it for a lot of people, and it's a shame. Though I always get a kick out of the people who have these signs that say, I live in a gun-free house. I have a gun-free house. Might as well just put at the bottom, go ahead and rob me, because there's nothing to stop you. So it's one thing. What is it? The boys have K-bars. The oldest has just the standard, and the youngest has the Tonto blade, the big Tonto blade. And my youngest friend, because they, it's great if you have to cut a seat belt in a pinch. My youngest friend looks at him and he goes, "What is it with you white boys and carrying knives?" I mean, they had the Bud K catalog when they were kids coming into the house, and that's how they ended up with a couple of katanas and what was it? I don't think they ever had a butterfly knife. I can't remember. Those were fun. Just kind of swinging them around and putting them together and closing them and opening them up back and forth. And after high school, I'm just shy of stabbing a friend in the foot because it slipped out of my hand. But, yep, I'm enjoying the sun here. It's so nice. 1 year, I would sit at this table, well, not this table, the table that's downstairs, but at the table here, pretty much like I am now, except facing the wall. And my tattoo artist looked at me and goes, "Why is your right arm darker than your left?" I don't blame me. I'd get out of Illinois first too. And Tim's like, "Why is your right arm darker than your left?" Because he'd been working on this arm at the time. Because your driving arm always gets darker first. And I was like, I don't know. Well, I'd come home from work and I'd hurt so bad. I'd sit right here and I'd play Farmville for about an hour. And so the sun would beat down on my arm, but the heat felt so good on my back. Yeah. It's just so nice just sitting in this window. Oh, wow. The gray little Bob is asleep in the sun on the dining room chair, and her mom's asleep on the fold-out chair. That I had a cat tree right here, but I got tired of it. I just break out the old fold-out chair. She can sleep on it if she wants to, and then I can fold it up and put it away when I clean up and vacuum or whatever. Yeah. And not to mention the 3-year-old can look out the window better without the cat tree in the way. She looked out the window the other day and she wanted to know where the tomatoes were. I'm like, "Honey, no, not yet. Not yet. We got to start over." I know. I was out shopping last Friday, and It was like 50 degrees, and in one of these things, I took off the sweatshirt. It was too hot. But my background, let's see, 25% of me came from the cold in Norway, and another 25% of me came from Southwest native, Northwest Mexico area. So heat and cold don't bother me. Wind doesn't bother me. Dust bothers me. Any animal with fur, thank you, I am allergic to. That I have 2 long hair cats and a short hair cat who has decided that little mama, my long hair that was a stray, won't let her into the living room, into the kitchen to go to the utility room to use a litter box. So now I have a litter box by the bathroom, and I am not thrilled. But she uses it. Yeah. The only time it doesn't blow out here is winter. The minute it starts blowing, we're like, spring's here. And then I officially know spring's here when there's the first rock marmot I find ran over. That means they're coming out of hibernation. And so I haven't smelt any skunks yet, so far so good. But they do like to eat the cat food on the front porch. The other day I think it was 2 dogs fighting on my front porch at about 2 o'clock in the morning. Yep. Well, talk about wide awake real fast. I knew it wasn't a human, but the dogs will come up and try to eat the cat food if there's any out. I've been woken up in the middle of the night to 2 raccoons fighting on the porch by the front door. So small town in the middle of nowhere life. It's interesting. We got housing developments coming up for workers, and we got some houses that are put what used to be an orchard. Those things are just cookie cutters. There's no yard. There's no nothing. I'm pretty sure their walls are as thin as spitting Kleenex. I like the lath and plaster, except the fact that I can't hang a lot of stuff on it. It's like my pictures have to be those little tiny, thin little plastic frames from Walmart. So I don't know if you can see it. I don't know. Yeah, probably not. There's that one. There's that one. I can't decorate to save my life. I'm just not an interior decorator, so I just put up my photos. Yeah, my neighbors I have neighbors across the street in front of me and to the west of me. And now, which wasn't there when we moved in, warehouse. I have a CA unit right directly behind me. And then to the road, a little to the east is CPC processing. And they did it. They finally did it this year, trying to take the sharp corner that they built too sharp. Bins come falling off and into the yard because they hit it too sharp and just about rolled the truck. I heard the banging and clanging, and I looked out the window, and I'm like, oh my God, they finally did it. I'm waiting for a truck to end up in my yard. And Harvest, those guys are in a hurry. And there's a little gravel bank. I looked out one day, and there was tire marks, so they had went off it. And I'm like, yeah, you would have went off it. You would have been, at least you wouldn't have hit the garage. There was enough space, and my fence would have been fine. But yeah, I've got some T-posts and a farm fence out there that when we had dogs, that now it's just, I leave it up there so that they don't come and help themselves to my garden if they're walking through or, so I can't wait to get out there. I talked about building a fire in the fire pit over the weekend. Sure enough, I didn't even have to say the W word, and it came up. It was like, great. Here, no, they don't. They have a big concrete blocks that they've been moved because they've been hit. But yeah, no. The only thing kind of signs I have up is if the room is closed. If the room's closed, there's a whole bunch of procedures you got to go through to open it back up because there's no oxygen in there. I forget what they put in it just to keep the apples for several months till they can get them out and sold and wherever they got to go. We had one of the guys that used to work here accidentally walk into a room, didn't know it was closed, and he barely crawled out for air. So yeah, he about died in there, but it's doing good. I'm at the post office last week on my one trip to the post office. It's about 4 blocks away. I get into my car and I drive. Sometimes in the summertime, I'll take the daycare kids and I'll take the Fred Meyer's. It's a Kroger, those little shopping baskets you get. Daughter brought one home one night. She was working and had her groceries in it in her bag and everything and completely forgot it was still in that basket and put her in her car and drove home. So I said, take it back to work. No, that's embarrassing. No one's going to notice. So, yeah, we'll just carry that and we'll pick up the mail and carry that home. And it gets them some exercise, some fresh air, the 8-year-old was not happy yesterday. She had to help Nana put together her meds because she wasn't allowed any screen time because she smarted back at her mother. And her mom said, well, you don't get any screen time. And she goes, nuh-uh, I have unlimited screen time at grandma's. I said, no, you don't. I said, you're lucky you have front teeth. I said, smarten back at your mom that way. So, yeah, she had to help me put my meds together. Normally, it takes me an hour. By the time I put all my supplements, got to do it morning, midday, afternoon, and nighttime. So, yeah, most of them are just supplements. And lovely beef organs that I take a couple times a day. I don't know if that's what's helping, not really helping, but adding to my high uric acid or not. But I feel pretty good. But the doctor's like, no, you got to take this pill. You're running the risk for gout. And I'm like, okay. So those lovely things. But yeah, I get that bed out of here and I can actually get to some drawers that I can go through that probably the 3-year-old won't fit into anymore because we haven't been able to get to them for almost a year. Come the 1st of May, it'll be a year I've had that thing in there. It's good. That's good. I've got Metoprolol, or however you pronounce it. I take it at 5 a.m, and then sometimes if I need it, depending on, and this may sound woohooey, depending on the sun's activity, I will have to take one in the afternoon. My doctor's like, I'm allowed 2 a day. And I tell doctor, if it starts having problems, I'll just take another one. And he's like, that lowers your pulse, right? I'm like, yeah, but for me, it levels it out so it works right. So, 75 is good. So according to my Fitbit, because I'll have my pulse at 40 sometimes at nighttime, and that's what it reads. So it thinks I have spectacular heart rate. I'm like, no. So, I take it to basically even out my heart rate. And then I have to take water pills because evidently water retention comes with back problems. And then my son's soon to be ex-aunt said evidently us Norwegian women have a problem with the swelling of the ankles. And I'm like, guilty. So I take 80 milligrams of Lasix a day. So I have to take potassium with it. And my pain meds I have to take. I had to give the talk to a friend of mine. She had back surgery. It's probably been about a month now. And she was worried she was getting addicted to her pain meds. But she goes, but then I take my meds and I can get so much done. I said, honey, there's a difference between addiction and dependence. For your pain, you're becoming dependent. She doesn't overabuse them. She, has a couple extra when goes to refill, So I had to give her the Tommy talk of, that's just dependence. I'm dependent on mine. If it came down to it, when shit does hit the fan, it's not an if, it's when shit hits the fan. I've been hoarding so that when I don't get it, I have some, and I also have the ability to taper down. Hopefully it never comes to that, but I'd like to be off it because God knows what it's doing to my kidneys and my liver because they cut down the amount of Tylenol they put in it. And so I pop an extra Tylenol with it. I know. Well, it's good if you, especially if you see a difference if you don't take it. And you can, your blood pressure starts creeping up. Yeah, you're going to want to keep on it regularly. I was raised by an RN. And it's with the attitude of we medicate ourselves. And so luckily my pain pills I take when I need them, but I won't overdo them. I'll even cut them in half. I had a pain doctor who told me, he got mad at me because I wouldn't take them every 6 hours. And to me, that just screamed addiction. I didn't like it, so I got rid of him. And my general practitioner, understands if you need it, you need it. You don't. And the only one I pretty much need is my Metoprolol, which isn't addicting. And I've got enough stored up that shit does hit the fan that I'll have to wait till I really need it before I do it because it's bad. It hurts. Doctors are like, you're not supposed to feel that. You shouldn't feel that, because it skips a beat. So there's a whole bunch of extra blood stuffed in. Hey, suspicious guy, how you doing? There's a whole bunch of extra blood stuffed into my heart. And so when it finally does go for the next beat and it gets to go out, I feel that. And it takes the breath away. It hurts. Oh yeah, there's been several people who get addicted to pain pills, and it's the good old Sackler family. Yeah, here just give this to everybody. No, I mean, there was someone that said years ago, if you know you're truly going to need it for the rest of your life, you will not get addicted. So, yeah, I didn't grow up. My adoptive mother that raised me, I was treated like a drug addict when I had to take my pain meds, even though I had to sit there in a hospital for her wound clinic or I had to drive her here. It really hurt. And she'd complain, you don't need to be taking those pills. It was fine until I was a problem, until she had to take them. And then it was a whole new different story. I'm like, wow. Yeah, she ended up on, what they did. They tried her a fentanyl patch at the end. She didn't do good on that at all. I mean, she wouldn't even take a Tylenol. She was one of those people. But, and when we were younger, though, she would call our doctor, who we had same doctor for like almost 20 years. So it'd be like, PJ, I need this, 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 and this. And PJ would write the prescription. Like if I had a cold, depending on if it was runny nose or stuffy nose, if it was Actifed or Dimetade, whatever we got, here, take this. I always I always make sure I have a refill on my antibiotic. Not because I'm gonna, not because I don't like taking antibiotics unless I absolutely have to. And at that point, I usually I'll take what I have stored up. It's like, okay, well, I'll get the second refill, shove it up on the shelves, and if I'll get bronchitis if I laugh too hard. So if I have a refill, I know exactly what I get because I get it frequently. And so it's like, okay, I'll take my extra antibiotics. I'm fine. So I know how many to take. I wish they would call me. I want that bed gone bye-bye. My doctor asked me if I tried cannabis. And I'm like, not against it. I said, I've tried it a couple times, but then I get couch lock. And then it's not good for me. I have to move. So if I could be out hiking or something all day long, I won't need a pain pill until I stop. And then it's like, oh, ouch. Yeah, we'll go hiking up the mountains, and I have to take one when I get into the car because I know by the time we drive for 45, 50 minutes and I got to get out of the car, the Jeep or the Expedition now, I can't. I'm not going out. Sounding like I'm 80 years old trying to crawl out of the car very carefully. Thanks. What was it? So I just I decided, well, I'm one of these people who hear something. Well, let's just add this supplement. We don't have enough magnesium. Let's just try this one. And so now I have magnesium with tart cherry juice at nighttime because it's supposed to help with sleep. I don't know. But I take that and my calcium and my, what is it? I don't take any iron. I don't have those worries anymore. Zinc Q-Serin 3 times a week. Vitamin B's every day because coffee and that drains your body of your vitamin B's. My beef organs because we don't get the essentials like we used to. I won't eat liver and onions. No, thank you. Ugh. My mother couldn't cook them anyway. Might as well just eat shoe leather, dry shoe leather, instead of liver and onions. Oh my. Ow. That makes my hips hurt. I've got a condition that it's a birth defect. I don't know if y'all know where your bursa is on your hips. You look at people or skeletons and they have this little rounded, their hips are rounded. Oh no, not mine. No. Right where your bursa sac sits on each side, mine come to a point. So I can't lay on my side very well for too long because it goes into that, it pokes into that sac and makes it inflamed, and then it hurts. And I tried to ask the doctor, I said, can't we just go in there and file that down? He goes, it's not that easy. I said, you'd think it would be. So, I think my half sister was fighting to get diagnosed with that. I don't know if she ever did because I don't talk to her. But she said, when I was talking to her, she said that the nickel women tended to be a little sickly. And I'm like, yeah, I'll agree with that one. So, but yeah, and then my back is, instead of having it straight, your vertebrae are straight, I have a couple of mine that are like wedges. So it's just, I guess you'd say, birth defect pain, chronic pain. Oh, oh, that hurts. God, that hurts. It just makes me. My poor back's like, oh, stretched out. No. Well, I mean, it's nice on the inversion table, but I'm afraid I'm always afraid I'm gonna get stuck. So I won't use it when I'm alone. Yeah. Daughter come home, come down to the basement and find me dead upside down on the inversion table. Yeah, probably wouldn't do her too well. So, but yeah. Yeah, we made it through to Tuesday. I'm gonna try to go live tomorrow. I don't know. I got so much shit I have to get done. I've got to rearrange, starting to rearrange my closet. I want to get my backpacks up above the closet and just have my shoes down at the bottom because the cats seem to think it's great to crawl into the closet and go to sleep. Yep, I know. Except I exercise just about every morning alone on the Ring Fit. But I don't do anything extreme, so no weights or nothing. But yeah, the cats have taken to sleeping in the closet. So I don't want them peeing on my backpacks. I've got a backpack I'll probably never use again. One of those metal framed interior ones. Purple, nice bright purple. You find me out in the wood. But I just kind of go, it's just a little much on my back now because I'll be 58 this year. I got, what was it? Alpine Lowe's backpack that I like it. It's about a 35 liter. It carries quite a bit. I wish it was taped at the top so I could look up and look around things, but it's not. But it's comfortable. I bought it used off of eBay for like $20 or so. So it looks like I'm a seasoned hiker, but if you look at my bag, I'm like a seasoned day walker. Just go around the mountains and walk. Once I get the ashes of my friend, he'll be sprinkled on my favorite trails. So I won't feel completely like I'm talking to myself when I'm out and about. Just got to get down to Tri-Cities, Richland, and Kennewick, I think, and get my 1.5 pounds. So, yeah. You too, Chuck. Enjoy your sunshine. Yeah, I got about another 12 minutes so I can hit the hour mark. So I'll ramble for another 12 minutes. And then I got to go back and tackle that room again. I have got so many clothes that I need to get rid of. About all I wear is these things and black t-shirts. And most of my black t-shirts come from thebestpoliticalshirts.com, from the We Are Change website. The one I've got coming in next is Asteroid 2024. Just ended all. So I'll wear that in public. Oh, man. So you got the sunshine. I've still got sunshine for now. I don't know how long. But yeah, cross your fingers. Friday is still a nice day because I'll take you guys out on the hillside amongst the sagebrush. So that was the perk and why I had to get to 1,000 so I could go live from my phone. So, and I found my GoPro. I won't have to use my phone when I go to do videos, driving videos. Now I just got to remember how to use that again. It's a 5, but I don't need anything that's, 1080p is good enough for YouTube. So I don't need 4K, whatever. And I think this does 4K, but I don't need anything too fancy because my old MacBook will just pitch a fit. And, but it'll be easy to get off that little tiny memory card. I was in the other room trying to do speech to text on my notes, And I'm like going, why isn't it listening to me? Why isn't it picking up my voice? Why isn't it doing this? And went online. Sometimes it's a problem with the OS system. It'll happen, a bunch of options. It took me a good 15 minutes to realize, hey, dum-dum, it can't hear you because the GoPro's in the dining room and you're in the bedroom. I'm like, oh my God, it was that stupid. And I was sitting there all worried going, great, I lost my microphone to my phone. And since I can't see that well to begin with without my reading glasses, I do a lot of speech to text. And so I'm like, oh, panic. I'm actually going to have to type. Mamas. I'm just rolling around to get the other part in the sunshine. Spoiled animals. Cool. Okay. I will. That sounds cool. I noticed since I don't do a lot of talking, since I'm by myself most of the time, I'll go to use speech to text, and I don't know if it's what's going on with everything up here. Still haven't heard back. I'm taking it. It's a good sign. So no news is good news. I noticed I slur. I was driving the other day doing speech to text, and maybe it's because I'm trying to pay attention to doing something else and talk at the same time. And I'll look down and my phone will it won't even pick it up at all. I'm like going, oh. So it's bad. But I'm 58. That's weird. I got a friend of mine who uploaded some videos. There was no music in it. TikTok put music in it and then muted it. I think I'm going to put them all together because I downloaded it individually from TikTok. As soon as he put them up, and I think I'm going to put them all together and post them here on YouTube as untitled, and I'll put it in a community note because it's some interesting information. Yeah, he's got an interesting look on life. And the end of April, he is going off grid. Off grid is the word for media or anything. He's not even have a phone to text or anything. So I'm going to get him a copy of my book, the book I have that I'm reading now. Another copy I'd bought because I thought I lost my first one. The Forbidden Female Speaks on the divine feminine, working the divine feminine and the divine masculine, within the same body, pulling out the best traits of that. So I got to get that mailed off before he decides to go out. And he lives in a RV, so before he goes out and travels and stuff, wants to go spend time with the Hopi. So that's interesting. But yeah, goose, the goose flesh. You done? There comes the wind. I'm tempted to ask for Mother's Day to see if the kids can pitch in and get me one of those smokeless fire pits. But the only thing I want to know before I get one is, does it still have that smell? Do you still get that nice smell you get when you're burning wood? That smoky smell that I'm sure a lot of people are really tired of because they have wood stoves. I like that smell. I mean, I got my fire pit outside and it smokes, depending on what I burn. But I bring me and the kids, when we go out in the summertime, we pick up walking sticks and then bring them home. And then I cut them up and we burn them, and they make that nice snap and crackle because of the pitch. And just smells so good. I want to start a fire so bad, but this town we're not supposed to unless we're cooking. Well, just keep a bag of marshmallows handy. Yeah, we're gonna make marshmallows later when the coals, get hot enough. So it's not like God forbid the wind blows and it carries ash. It's just gonna hit a concrete wall. So, but yeah. Hey Dennis, how are you? Oh, I love the smell of pine. There's one out there that's the tree that just stinks. Is it alder? Something stinks to the high heaven when you burn it. It's gross. It might be alder. I don't like the smell of it. I'm hanging in there. Just waiting for the YWCA to call, and I think I'll call them when I'm done here. So they come get that bed so I get it out of here and I get my room back. So, yeah, box elder. There you go. That stinks. We'll go camping and the kids will bring that home. I'm like, yuck. One of them thought they were being really good, but that's before he stopped drinking. Brought in a piece that was rotten. So proud of himself for dragging in the whole tree. Well, the bottom of that tree was rotten and it stunk. It's like, but he thought he was doing a good thing. I'm so glad he's sober now. No more fights around the campfire with him and his brother. So, yeah. Camping's going to be weird this year. Yeah, no, it's gross. Especially if it's still kind of wet. Camping's going to be strange this year because I've got to sprinkle some of Bradley's ashes and at the campsite. And I got everybody, the regular campers, those blue IKEA hats. Blue tarp looking hats. A few years back, he had one. Really proud of it. I swore he talked about it for a good half an hour. I only tuned in for like the first 5 minutes. And since it was blue, and every now and then we'd make a comment of, well, I don't see a hole missing from my tarp, because so because of that, everybody gets a blue hat for putting the ashes, sprinkling the ashes. What's nice is, they have dogs, so other campers have dogs, so you turn it inside out, it holds water. So it's got double uses. But he was a bit of an asshole, and so me being a bit of an asshole right back, and everybody's getting a blue hat in his honor. So, yeah. No, I haven't. But they're, most of the time though, the strange noises are the chipmunks running in the walls. But yeah, they don't. I've heard. This has been. Let's see, she's 8. So about 5 years ago, we were upstairs, and behind us, and I hear, "Hi there." I turn around and thinking maybe her brother had showed up already because they were supposed to come get her after mom got off work, and nobody's there. And Keith stopped by the fire pit. I'm like, oh, her small energies are bringing them in. So, yeah, I talk to people when, because I know the whole house, just like this house, likes the 40s, the Rat Pat music. So I talk to them when I'm in the house, and, I apologize for some of the rude people that have been there before. Came in one time and it had been a bachelor party weekend or bachelorette party weekend. And we walked in, and there's no water, there's no running water, so they don't want to deal with freezer pipes or nothing. Evidently, one of the gals was a little too hungover when she threw up in the sink before she left. I'm like, there's the whole forest. You can throw up in the whole forest. It's fine. Not in the sink. My soon-to-be ex-daughter-in-law threw up out in the forest, hungover, and the chipmunks ate it. It's like, that's nasty. It was chilly. It was gross. Oh, arguing. Oh no, that's probably just residual though. Yeah, I hear the old man going through my living room, shuffling through because it's like he really doesn't want to have to go to work. That kind of shuffle, and the old Florisham shoes with the slick bottoms and the kind you used to have to buff and polish. Yeah, so good possibility. I don't know about Florida, but here in Washington, if someone dies in the house, you have to disclose it. And the house that I grew up in, Dad's still in. My room was the old lady's room, and she died in that room. So, and she'd come around at nighttime. You could hear her making rounds to the bedroom doors to make sure everybody's asleep. And if you're up past midnight, she'd stand in the doorway to the living room, watch you until you went to bed. So, I'm used to it. Uh-huh. Anything shiny, it's got to be put away. It's if I don't have it in the drawer and closed, it's gone. So it'll go. The little girl will pick it up and it'll be gone for a week or so, and then it'll be right back where it was. So, speaking of misplaced, I lost a diamond bracelet somewhere. The little security latch had broke. I knew it was going to go eventually, but I was used to it and I liked it. So, but it would get caught. It would get caught. It'd get caught on my oath bracelet. So it probably just got caught on something else. And now someone has a really nice diamond bracelet, tennis bracelet. I looked at replacing it and went $2,000. I didn't like it that much. I get a lot more stuff for $2,000. I get a different generator. I could get more solar panels. I could get, things I can use in a bracelet. But, yeah. I always loved when I'd get cigarette smoke and all the windows are shut. It's like, hi, lad. How are you? Yeah. When he died, he was the butcher I worked with for years. He knew I had back pain. And it was like 2 days after he crossed. I was complaining. I was down in the kitchen complaining about my backache, and the Elite bottle that was right next to me, I watched it just go up and slam right back down. I'm like, okay, I get it. I'll take some. So, yeah. I had to. It was an obvious hint. I was supposed to take some Aleve. Yeah. I've got Shell wind chimes. I bought a Payless. That's how long it's been. And no breeze will be around. They'll just start going off. It's like, hi, how are you? I keep my K2 meter in the kitchen for that reason specifically. Hi. Oh, Johnny's on? Cool. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to be on much longer. My back's starting to hurt. I've done this for about an hour, but I'll be on tomorrow. The same bat time and the same bat channel. And hopefully we'll be seeing some sunlight again. I won't be in the dark room with the ring light to light me up. So, but yeah, I'm trying to do this at least 3 days a week. Well, that was weird. Something just went bloop. Don't know. Yeah, I know. Somewhere I have a digital recorder. I can't figure out how to use it. So I have to probably buy an updated one. Figure that out. I want dowsing rods. I want some of those. But it's like I don't need to have them to know I'm got company. So it's like when my friend decided he was going to unsubscribe himself. He no longer checked the bell for notifications on live. He was with me every day for a good month. He did not leave. So I knew something was wrong. But I kept texting, never getting anything back. And then he decided to do that. I kind of wish his dad won't say how he did it. It was with pills. And I'm just wondering if he took a bunch of Metoprolol and just basically stopped his own heart, went to sleep and stopped his own heart. So cool. Well, that's cool. I don't have any of that, but that's cool. I can see how that would work. Somewhere down at the farm is Dad's old rods. He was a water witch. You know, we called him. Yeah. He was a water witch. So she could always find water. One of those that took out the rods, and it's just one of those. What time is it? All right. I'm going to check out from this. I got to go get ready for the little whirlwind to come in and start wanting to have enough food that most people would consider dinner, and it's just a snack for her. She had 2 apples, 2 cups of macaroni and cheese yesterday, and a lollipop. And I finally said, make room for dinner. Leave room for dinner, because this isn't dinner. It's only 4:30. It's not dinner. So I'll be back tomorrow. Let's cross our fingers the sun is shining, and I will upload a video a little bit later on not talking down to yourself, because we can't do that. It's not good for us. 2 pieces. Now, yeah, still got her lollipop. She didn't finish it yesterday. It's here on the table. And her ice thing she ate. That's cool too. About 1 foot bent, then 3 at night. Hopefully I can get this back from the chat when this is done, but yeah. I wonder if Lowe's carries any of that. More Home Depot. That's cool. I will give it a try. All right, guys. I will see you all tomorrow, God willing, provided Loki doesn't cause us any problems. And I'll sit there and ramble at myself and talk to the comments, though I really should be talking to the camera. I think I'm talking to you guys when I look at the comments. So, yeah. So I'll be back tomorrow. Cool. Oh, I have an ace down the hill. Got me thinking now. All right. Yes, Dennis, I will see you soon, and hopefully some of y'all tomorrow. I'll get a notice out earlier, well, later on tonight, so there's more of a warning, and then I'll put it in my community tab, and I'll put it out on Facebook and all that other places, so y'all can find me. Okay, guys, have a fabulous night. I got to get used to cooking dinner at 5 when the sun's out now, and we ate at 9:30 last night. So, yeah, I'm not used to this. All right. Peace out, guys. Much love.